Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino. Friday, March 22nd, 2024. This is my pre-market report. Before we even get started, I want to talk about something that you and I, again, called would happen, and here we go. What are we seeing that's being deliberately hidden from the public? War expanding at a very astonishing pace. You got to look kind of far and wide to find out any real news as to what's going on here with regard to rapidly expanding war. War in 24. Remember that at the end of last year? Yeah, we called that. But here's what's being set up right now. And it's kind of an interesting set of dynamics in play. So this is a headline here from Reuters. I'm going to read this to you real quick. So Reuters, the United States has urged Ukraine to halt strikes on Russian energy infrastructure. And the reason for that is, here we go. So the United States has urged Ukraine to halt strikes on Russian energy infrastructure, warning that these strikes could provoke retaliation, expanding war, which is what they actually want anyway, and driving up global oil prices. This is what they want too, as well. And we've seen the effect of this. Energy has been a major driver of this freak show stock market, as you and I know it already is. When crude oil gets bid up, and we've been seeing some pretty substantial moves here with regard to crude oil, what does that do? It boosts the entire energy sector. It puts a fire underneath the financial sector. And what happens? You get a stock market that keeps rising. Now, this is interesting. So we're financing this war, by the way. And if you look back on how war has been waged for thousands of years, the first thing they do is attack energy infrastructure. So the United States, what they're trying to do here is set up a scapegoat, all right? That it's war, it's Ukraine, it's Russia, it's their fault while we're seeing prices of everything continue to rise. Because remember, everything is dependent on crude oil. All the products that we get, okay, have to be shipped somewhere from somewhere else. Crude oil plays a role in this. So what they're doing is this setup, as you and I called would happen a while back, that, of course, expanding war, that's the goal anyway here. You know the story here, that with regard to war, it generates more cash for corporations, for the military-industrial complex than any other endeavor on earth. Now, we're financing this war. We're financing the Israel war as well here. And here we have, again, a scapegoat being set up. Oh, the United States is saying, don't do this. Don't attack Russian infrastructure because it's going to drive global energy prices higher. Duh! That's what it's meant to do. But they want you to believe that, that's not the case. See, because they can't point the fingers at the Federal Reserve or our current freak show so-called representatives that, can't be them. It's the war. It's Ukraine. It's Russia. It's energy because it's being boosted up because of war. It's not our fault that we're seeing inflation continue to rise. The setup is the Fed's going to be cutting rates, period. All right? I know a lot of people don't believe it. Look, you're going to be caught behind the curve yet again. I'm keeping you ahead of the curve. A lot of people writing to me, Greg, I don't see it. Look at the 10-year yield. By the time it happens, you're going to be too late. You have to be ready for it now because that's what's going to happen. Those are the dynamics that are in play, and we understand why this must happen. Central banks are looking for another reason to inflate, and that's how they're going to do it. So anyway, what do you think of this here? The scapegoat is being set up for rising prices. Can't be the Fed's fault. Oh, no. We're seeing higher prices because of the war, because of energy infrastructure being hit, because of Russia's fault, or whoever fault they want to blame it on, but it's not the Federal Reserve's fault, nor is it our loving, caring representatives that can't get their act together. All right, that's one thing. Now, with regard to this market here, this is also laughable on a grand scale. This is like that. This is propaganda, what I just showed you, quite obviously. Here's another piece of propaganda here. So, Yes, indeed. Obviously, the S&P 500 is skyrocketing. You and I called this at the end of last year, how this would happen. But here's the real piece of propaganda. Bloomberg, the relentless rally in stocks is being powered ahead on optimism that the Federal Reserve will be able to engineer a soft landing. But what's missing from this is the fact that the Federal Reserve is going to pump this market with more easy money than you could possibly imagine. And that's plays right into what you and I have been saying, rate cuts here. So I want you to take a couple of things away from both of these pieces of propaganda. Number one, you can expect energy prices to skyrocket from here. And that means that you are going to be paying a lot more for everything. But remember, it's the fault of the war. It's Ukraine. It's Russia. It has nothing to do with the fact that the Federal Reserve is inflating on a massive scale and is about to inflate on an even more massive scale moving forward here as they cut rates. Duh. First piece of propaganda. Second piece of propaganda here. Okay, so it's the fact that the Fed is so good, they're perfect, and they have your interest in mind. They're going to engineer a soft landing. Nothing could be further from the truth. All they're going to do is pump more easy money into the system. Can you imagine our shock? Can I see your shocked face? What? No! You can't make this stuff up. It's impossible to do. Anyway, so I was just jotting down a couple of things here this morning. The dollar this morning. You're watching the Dixie or the relative strength of the dollar. Knee-jerk higher. What does it mean? Well, we have to look over at the 10-year yield to maybe gauge anything. So 10-year yield is dropping slightly. We were at 4.3 reasonably just a few days ago. Now we're here at 4.24. I expect this trend here to continue dropping of that 10-year yield on the back of, again, the promise of more easy money. It has nothing to do with the soft landing like they're trying to sell you. It has to do with easy money. You're not allowed to know what's happening here, period, the end. I expect energy prices to skyrocket, as I said, moving forward here. This is going to propel energy stocks higher, financial stocks higher, and again, pull the whole market higher until we get close to the presidential selection, for which we will address it at that time. Anyway, so that's what you can expect moving forward. You're being set up, but you see, they don't realize how smart you are. They think you're an idiot, and I know for a fact that you are the smartest people in the room. That's a fact. Anyway, let's move forward here. So the market this morning, again, this knee-jerk higher in the dollar. The market may be sending us a little signal here that we're about to see a little bit of a drop, which we need anyway. I mean, 20 record highs this year alone so far. We need a drop. We need a pullback. As long as the 10-year yield stays stable, we will be buying the dips, people. We'll be buying the dips. Yes, I know I'm Greg Mannarino, whatever people call me these days. No, I am not a perma bull nor a perma bear. I just look at the dynamics driving this market, and I put you and I in the best possible spots that we can be in. And that means we need to be long the market right now. We need to be long energy right now, which most of you are already if you follow this blog, period, the end. You need to be long, and I mean long, these things. Okay? What are they telling us here? Global debt is going to skyrocket along with everything else here. You got to be on the opposite side of that trade. Betting us to debt. Become your own central bank. Become your own bank. Okay? Period. The end there. Cryptocurrencies, we're getting this a lot of volatility here, but I can tell you, and I'm not going to answer this question. People keep asking me, Greg, what's your high-end target on Bitcoin? What's your high? I'm not telling you what it is. What I will tell you is it's going to be multiples higher on where we are now. All right, you can listen to me or not listen to me. That's fine. I'm just telling you my take on it. You're certainly entitled to your own opinion on this. Stock futures right now aren't doing too much, slightly in the negative. Okay, 10-year yield, as I told you, stable, sitting around 4.24. Dollar knee-jerk higher. Maybe a slight fear trade. We'll see how this plays out today. Crude oil getting a bit higher. Gold and silver under a little pressure right now. Cryptocurrencies also under a little pressure right now. Nothing major going on. But look. To say the least, you and I have called this pretty much, I mean, no, not pretty much, exactly spot on from last year. The propaganda, that was another theme. If you recall, this year we were going to see incredible amounts of propaganda. Here's just two pieces of it, just from today alone. It's an incredible thing. I want to hear from you on these things. So what do you think about this? Although we're funding this war, now we're dictating the rules of it, they want you to think that this is a game. Of course, this is going to continue here, and they're going to say, oh, look what's happening. Ukraine drones are attacking Russian energy infrastructure. That's the reason why prices are rising. It has nothing to do with the Federal Reserve continuing to inflate. They're going to try to keep your eyes off the ball. Again, no presidential candidate is going to call, even though I know most of you love and worship President Trump, he's not going to tell you that it's the Fed who's the real enemy. Nor is the creature sitting behind the resolute desk, because he has no clue anyway. He doesn't know if he's alive or dead or what's going on. Basically, the man is a mental vegetable, but that's besides the point. And with regard to this here soft landing, really, that's what the Fed's engineering? No. They're engineering the biggest market pump you can ever believe. And that's where we're going here moving forward too. The illusion of the market is going to be maintained via higher energy prices and more easy money. You think we nailed this one to the wall? I would say, yeah. All right, people, look, this guy here loves you left in the heart. I mean that with all I got. I will see all of you later today. I apologize for missing my post-market report yesterday, but I will see you later, post-market, 4:05 p.m. Eastern. I really hope to see you there. Let's cover all this stuff. Let's laugh together, okay? Because the laugh isn't on us. The laugh is on them, because we know what they want. We know what they're trying to achieve. And what are you and I doing about it? Counter-strategizing against it. It's an amazing thing, and we can't possibly lose. You know why? Because we're way smarter than they are. All right? I'll see you later. Love you a lot.